What's up guys, Ryan here. Today we're going to talk about one of the biggest pains of being a successful Amazon FBA seller, and that is dealing with hijackers. So the reason I associate hijackers with being successful is because the more successful your product is, meaning the higher its organic rank is on its primary keywords, the more likely it is you're going to have to deal with hijackers. Basically, what a hijacker is a seller that doesn't make their own listings. Instead, what they do is they look for successful listings that aren't a part of Amazon's brand registry so that they can hop on and claim to be selling the same product. Then they go source a similar product from overseas and they send it in for FBA, claiming it's the same product, even though it will not be most likely the same product from your same supplier, and it's definitely not going to be your brand. When they send it in for FBA claiming it's that product, typically all they really have to do is undercut your price to win the buy box from you and start taking your sales and taking your money. So you can see why this is such a big deal, and I'm assuming that's why you're here watching this video. So I'm going to show you how to remove hijackers from your product listings. So I'm assuming you found this video because you're dealing with hijackers of your own. I've dealt with a couple in my day, and I just want to be upfront about the fact that the optimal long-term solution is to trademark your brand and get into Amazon's brand registry so you can protect your products from hijackers even being able to attempt to sell on the listings. But I'm assuming you're watching this video because you're in the boat that I was in when I first had to deal with hijackers, and that is that you're not brand registered and you're trying to get them off your listing. So the first thing that we can do is reach out to them and kind of try to scare them off. So I'm going to find a example listing here over on Amazon. So you'll notice I use a browser add-on called DS Amazon Quick View, and that's where these tags of one FBA seller, two FBA sellers pops up. And this is a prime example of multiple sellers on the product listing. So I'm going to click this. And you'll notice here in the middle of the page it says new 2 from 999. So the 2 represents how many sellers are on this listing. And as we can see here, we have 2 sellers. One is a just launched shop, and they're selling for almost double the original seller's price, so it's not a real threat. The more aggressive hijackers are the ones that will compete with you for the buy box and steal your sales. But let's just pretend that this guy was undercutting the original seller and offering his garlic press for around like $9.95. That might be enough to get him the buy box. So what we're going to do is we're going to click his seller profile link. And then from here, we're going to click Ask a Question. So this is where we are going to contact him. And what we're going to do is we're going to say, I need assistance with an order I placed. We're going to change the subject to received wrong item, because we're operating under the assumption that this is not the same supplier just stamping our brand on the product that he's selling. It's incredibly unlikely. And then we click Write Message. And the cool thing that I did for you guys is if you go to ryanhogue.com/AmazonFBA/how to remove hijackers, which I'll put a link in the description, you can actually scroll down, and I put a template of what to, I also put a walkthrough as you can see, but I put a full template that you can copy paste. And you'll just need to swap out the parts that say like your brand, your name, your company. So swap these out with yours and then come back over here to the contact seller and paste. So again, you want to swap all these out before you hit send. Also, there's an extra one in here. If your trademark is live, a weird thing about trademarks is that you may be able to search the USPTO database and see that your mark is live, and it's not, air quotes, technically live. And then another awesome thing is that after it is technically live, there's like an 8-week waiting period before you receive a specific number associated with your mark that Amazon requires to get through the brand registry. So long story short, if you are not officially live, but you are in the USPTO database, I would recommend attaching a screenshot of that and a link right here. Otherwise, you can just delete that one and fill in your stuff and hit send email. All right, so now you've alerted the seller that, I'm the director of this company and the intellectual property owner of my brand. I see that you've listed my branded products for sale and then put a link to the ASIN. Can you please show me the receipt for this item so we can see if you've bought it from an authorized reseller, right? They shouldn't be going to your manufacturer, ideally, if it is your brand and your IP. So we do not sell your brand to any resellers, and we think you may be selling counterfeit items. Additionally, products with our trademarks are not permitted for resale on US marketplaces without our approval. Please reply with a receipt that proves that you purchased our brand products from this company, the intellectual property owner, or remove your listing for this product. I'll be contacting Amazon's fraud team about this if I do not receive a response within 12 hours. So you're not actually going to contact Amazon yet. This is basically an empty threat just to see if we can get them to respond, maybe apologize, and either remove their products, or if they only have a really small quantity, allow them to sell out and then hope that they don't pop back up. So assuming that you do not hear back from them or they refuse to cooperate, we can scroll down over here on the website to step 2. And my first time dealing with a hijacker, I had to go through all these steps. The guy didn't really comply. He told me that he was a first-time seller and didn't know what he was doing. Whether or not that's true, I don't know, because he was using an algorithmic repricer to win the buy box, meaning I could adjust my price and his repricer would undercut me by a penny every time in 15-minute increments, basically. So anyways, step 2, we're going to contact the hijacker again. Notice we didn't contact Amazon yet because that's really our last resort here. So now we haven't heard from him within 24 to 48 hours. If you guys are selling on Amazon, Amazon wants sellers to respond to customer requests within 24 hours. Don't do that, your account is going to get in trouble. Assuming we haven't heard back from him and it's been 48 hours or so, I'd say give him 2 days. You have another template here that you can use. It says, hello, as you've ignored my earlier request, I've contacted my Amazon rep about this issue and they're currently investigating it. If you've purchased this product from your company, then it's a secondhand item. It should not be listed as new. If it was purchased from any other source than your company, it's not authentic and you're infringing on our intellectual property. Please note that any further correspondence between us will be recorded and may be used to back up my claims. So you'll take this template, come right back over, follow the same process. You'll end up on this screen again, paste it in, and swap in your company here. So that's not necessarily the brand, it's your company associated with your seller account. And then you'll hit send email. So this is your second correspondence with them. Hopefully this time it gets their attention. But if not, we have a plan C. So this is the last kind of step here where we are going to actually contact Amazon. Again, we only go to step 3 if we followed step 2 and didn't hear back from them within 24 to 48 hours. And we didn't notice that they withdrew their products from our listing. So step 3, we're going to place a test order from them. And this way, what we can do is actually have the physical goods in our possession. We can take pictures, show Amazon, build a case to Amazon that they're in fact not the right product. So we can put our product right next to theirs, show that it's not our brand, highlight any inconsistencies between the two, and really make our case. So before you place your test order, you can always, this is just a little tip, you can reprice your listing to undercut them, maybe even take a couple dollars off your main price, and check within 15 to 20 minutes and see if they have an automated repricer that will undercut your price automatically. That way, when you buy their product, you get it at a better cost. And just so you know, you can also return the product to hurt their return rate after you get the pictures you need. So it's not like it really matters because you don't have to keep their product. But it's just a thought. So here's the last steps. Go back over here to the product listing where we saw the sellers. And instead of clicking their seller profile, we just hit add to cart. So after your test order arrives and you have the counterfeit goods at home, you can take great side-by-side pictures highlighting the differences between your product and theirs. And we can use that to contact Amazon seller support and make a case for ourselves. So in my blog post, find this link to seller support, open that up, and then click selling on Amazon. When this little sidebar pops up, just click anything like 2-step verification to close it out. All right, now hit other issues and report a violation. Then hit report a violation again and take this template that I have over here and paste it in. All right, so you're gonna need to add the ASIN of the product, their Amazon seller store name, your order ID from your test order. Make sure to attach the photos. So when I had to deal with my own hijacker, I went into Photoshop and highlighted all the differences, did little side-by-sides, just tried to make it really obvious. And then write out an explanation of why this is an issue that you're concerned with. We believe this vendor sold us counterfeit goods as evidenced by the attached photos, etc. Give a bulleted list style of reasons that this is misleading customers and that it's going to hurt the product and your brand overall. Once you've swapped out the placeholders from my template message with your own info, scroll down to the bottom and hit send. So now a member of Amazon's support staff is going to handle the case, and hopefully within 2 to 3 days, you'll see the other seller removed from your product listing. So before I wrap this article up, I wanted to just touch on my experience dealing with hijackers. So the first hijacker I ever dealt with, I followed steps 1, 2, and 3 as outlined just now. Unfortunately, he was stingy and didn't leave my listing until he had sold out. So I think it might have been an honest mistake that he had been a first-time seller and accidentally sent in inventory claiming it was my brand instead of his own private label. Unfortunately, he hasn't popped back up. But I tried to scare him off. He resisted. He didn't take his products off the listing. I contacted Amazon seller support, clearly proved that his product was not my product. Like, it wasn't even from the same manufacturer, so it was obvious. And Amazon did nothing about it. So what I've shown you in this article so far are really mainly scare tactics and then sending up a prayer that Amazon's going to do something and intervene. But most likely, in my experience, it's not going to happen. However, I've seen plenty of stories with other people who had better luck. But I have to wrap this up by saying trademarking your brand, which is required to get into Amazon's brand registry, is the real way to protect yourself. Let me show you what trademarking your brand can do for you. So if we go back over to Amazon.com real quick and search for garlic press. And let's just go to the highest ranking garlic press. So this or blue garlic press. I'm going to grab the ASIN, and then I'm going to go back to Seller Central and go to Catalog, Add Products. I'm going to type the ASIN in. So this is me showing you what a hijacker sees when they try to jump on a listing that's protected. So you'll see here, we search for the ASIN, listing limitations apply. This is what it says for trying to sell new products on this listing. New condition, the product that you're trying to sell is transparency enabled. Transparency helps brands prevent the sale and shipment of counterfeit products to customers on Amazon. Transparency-enabled products have a 2D code affixed to the packaging. The transparency code is a unique 26-digit alphanumeric identifier beginning with AZ or ZA and is applied to the product's packaging. You'll be asked to provide transparency codes found on products you're trying to list on Amazon. Also, refurbished, they don't even allow you to sell. When you're in the brand registry, you can do pretty much what they're doing here to try to prevent people from jumping on your listing and trying to sell your goods. And that is ultimately always going to be your best bet to prevent hijackers from jumping on your listings. I mean, honestly, rather than dealing with hijackers that are on your listing, it's much better to never let them get there in the first place. So do everything you can in your power to protect yourself, and that starts with trademarking your brand. By the way, trademarking, in my experience, takes a long ass time. So even if you have a good lawyer on the job, getting your trademark live takes months. And what's even better is after it's live, you have another like 8-week waiting period to get this number that Amazon requires to get you into brand registry. So it's a long, arduous process. Even if you outsource it to a good lawyer, it's going to take a while. My suggestion is get started today. I truly don't think you can be selling on Amazon in 2019 without a brand registry, because if you're successful, you become a target for the hijackers, and that's never going to change. And if you don't protect yourself from them, you're risking your business long term. So get in the brand registry. All right, guys, and that just about does it for this video. If you got something from it, please hit that like button. Also, if you have other methods of removing hijackers from your listings, please share in the comments. I'd love to learn from you. Also, a subscribe would mean the world to me, so please consider doing that, and I'll see you guys at the next one.
Wherever she goes, I go, we roll, we go, flying over cities down to Rio, it's Rio, love that I feel, oh nothing lasts forever, but I'm down for the minute, so just chill.